Can you believe it has been 107 years since the Titanic sank after hitting an iceberg? And now you can experience life on the ship like never before, thanks to a new exhibit at OdySea, where you can see replicas and real artifacts straight from the ship. So Kylie is at OdySea this morning giving us a look around. How cool, Kylie?
Good morning. This is really neat. It makes me want to watch the movie again. But what I love about this is it really makes you feel like you were there. I mean, this was 1907, 107 years ago. But this is my boarding pass. As you can see, I am Dr. Alice Leader of New York. I am a retired doctor and I'm in first class. But will I live or die? You find that out at the very end of the tour. So we are here. This is kind of where it all starts. This is a model of the Titanic, and we want to bring in the curator. Alex is joining us. You put this together. Tell me about what we're walking into, because this is kind of how everything gets started.
Well, the entire exhibition is based upon a storyline. So here we are in Belfast in the construction area. So this is where the ship was first built. The first ship was built is the Olympic, but actually Titanic was the second ship. And this just shows photographs of how she was designed in Belfast, her dock in Southampton before she left on her maiden voyage, and gives you the whole behind the story of the ship and why it was built and who built it.
We got to talk about some of the artifacts that you guys have in this exhibit. I mean, they're 100 and plus years old. This is a boarding label.
Oh, it's a baggage label for Sydney, but what's important is the leather suitcase here, or the leather bag, because normally from wreck sites you don't find written documents, books that are still readable, letters, clothing. But all of these items were recovered from inside leather bags. They were protected by the leather itself and also by the cold and the darkness at the site.
Wow, interesting. How many artifacts do you have in here?
For this exhibition, it's over 130.
Wow, that is amazing, because this was so long ago. So as we take you in through here, we're kind of transitioning. Walk me through what we're about to see.
Okay, from construction, you are now on board the ship. So here we have recreated a first-class cabin and a third-class cabin.
Okay, so this is actually, I'm in the first-class cabin. That's
kind
of
nice.
Nice. So
you are.
This is a pretty good setup here. How many first-class cabins were there on the ship?
Oh, there were so many, and they were 14 different styles, but they were not all full for the maiden voyage. But this gives you an idea of one of the designs, Regency, and so you have a chaise lounge. What we've populated it with are clothing, vintage clothing, so it gives you an idea of what they would have been wearing at that particular time.
And the hats there too.
Yes.
Much different. If you look at this setup here, much different than across the hallway. And this was the third-class cabin. And this cramped, very dark. This was light for those, though, on the second and third class.
Yeah, this was so much better than many times their home environments. The berth numbers were passed out at the beginning, so there were no fights about who gets the upper berth or the lower berth. You had place for your luggage, and you had 3 square meals a day. Since the third class was an important stream of revenue for White Star Line, you had them providing everything. The meals were good. It was good, solid food. You had the berths. You had toilets. You had 2 bathtubs.
That's important.
Yes, but it catered to them so that they would write letters home to other immigrants and say, "Hey, White Star Line was the best ship. We had such wonderful food. The people were so nice. We even had our own stewards," so that more people would want to travel on the White Star Line.
Okay, we are not done just yet with the Titanic. Coming up, guys, at about 9:45, we're going to continue on. We're going to hit the iceberg, so we're going to learn more about the history of the Titanic when we see you back here at 9:45. Tess, we do want to note that this exhibit opens up in just about an hour here at OdySea, so we're giving you a little preview before it opens up for the next year to the public.
That is awesome. It's so educational, too, for kids to go through there. So thank you, Kylie. We look forward to your next segment.
You know what, it is really cool, and the exhibit opens in just about 15 minutes, so we are giving you a look at the makings of it. So we started off, when we saw you about 45 minutes ago, showing you the entrance and how they live. Now we're in the boiler room. We've got Alex joining us this morning. She's the curator here, and the boiler room, you said, was kind of the heart of the ship.
It is the heart of the ship because the men who worked here and who fed the boilers provided the ship with heat, electricity, light, everything that were the creature comforts, and also important to the story of Titanic.
So as we kind of take everybody through here, we're doing a mini tour,
right.
A speedy tour. We're going to head to the Iceberg, and obviously this is the tragic moment of the ship. Iceberg right ahead, and you said that day back in 1912, they didn't know that Iceberg was so close until just seconds.
That's correct. By the time Frederick Fleet saw the iceberg, there were 36 seconds until impact.
36, that's it. Less than a minute.
That's it, yes.
Wow.
So less than a minute. So they turned hard to the port and thought they had missed it, but sadly it had punched a hole below water. But this is a recreation of the iceberg.
And you can touch it. Wow.
Yeah, it's at 28 degrees Fahrenheit, which is the temperature of the water on that night. So it's easy to understand why most of the passengers who were wearing lifeboats and life jackets and were not in the lifeboat died of hypothermia.
Because you had, what, 1,500 or so people pass
Correct.
away?
That's
700 or so who were able to survive this. So as we rush everybody through here, tell me what this room is.
This room is Discovery, and we try to explain the science of recovering artifacts from the wreck site. It's 2.5 miles down below the ocean surface. And we also talk about the conservation, which is the treatment of the artifacts.
And this is the model
and this is
what
the model.
It looked like
yes.
after it hit that
That's
iceberg.
true.
And this, what I think is really interesting, is this is the exact size of the lifeboats. How many people would be on a lifeboat like this?
This was a standard size lifeboat, and there were 16 of these, and 65 people were imagined to be rescued on this. Only towards the end were the boats full. At the beginning, a boat this size only had 12 people before they launched it.
Wow. So we're kind of, like I said, we're doing this, this is like our fast pass, you go through this and then you're going through everything lickety split. But at the end, we got these cards in the beginning, and so my name, Dr. Alice Leader, I was in first class. And so you're able to come over here to this big screen here, and then you're able to find out. So I'm going to come over here and see if I lived or if I died. So let's see. Alice, I think I see her. Yeah, Dr. Alice. So I made it.
Good for you.
I made it. What about you? Do you know if you made it?
Sadly, I was a second-class male. I had an interesting job, though. I was supposed to be filming the maiden voyage.
Wow.
But Mr. Harbeck did not survive. He was a male and in second class.
Wow. Why would you encourage families to come out here? We know summer's coming up. Parents are always looking to get the kids out of the house. Seems like a great educational opportunity.
It is a great educational opportunity. You can talk about archaeology, you can talk about history, and at the same time, it's a way to build empathy. So because you get so involved with the people on the ship, with the crew, that by the time you come to this point, you're part of the ship. And what I like to look at it is that once you have been through an exhibition, you are part of the legacy of Titanic.
I know, and you feel it. And as you get to the end, you're hoping that you were able to make it through. So guys, again, this exhibit opening up in just 10 minutes here at Odyssey in Scottsdale. So come out. It's going to be here for about a year. Really educational and really interesting to kind of learn more about the Titanic from start to sadly to the end. So we'll send it back to you.
I got to see that.
I know,
is so
it looks cool. Perfect. I was thinking perfect something to do for the summer when you want to get indoors with the kiddos and also get a history lesson.
Yeah.
Thanks, Kylie.